However, this is only the beginning of her remarkable story, which she's going to share with us tonight.
Hi, you guys. I had to go on after these beautiful dancers. Thank you so much. But thanks so much for having me tonight. The reason why I agreed to tell my story is because, just like the doctor was saying, like there's so many myths out there. But I have to tell you first I'll tell you, I'm 55 years old, so this has been a 31-year journey for me. So at 24 years old, I basically found a lump in my breast, and I will tell you, I was dismissed. I was dismissed by doctors, nurses. They're like, you're 24, you are too young. People your age don't get cancer, right? So honestly, I was a knucklehead 24-year-old. I don't know how I decided that was not going to work for me. Went to some other doctors, and they said, something's not right here. Long story short, after surgery, I remember my surgeon basically telling me, sorry kid, it's cancer. So at that point, it just shook my head, like, okay, what do we do now? I had no idea the journey that I was going to be thrown into. So after chemotherapy, radiation, and back in the day, I'm sure the doctor can tell you, this is the early 90s. You had cancer, you got chemo. It wasn't targeted like it is today. It was tough, I'm not gonna lie. It was tough because, think about it, I'm 24 years old. My parents were, they were caring for me, and now they're hearing their kid has cancer. Not knowing as much as we do today, I basically fought really hard, and all I wanted to do was go back to my life. I wanted to go back to my job that I loved, and I wanted to continue on. Fortunately, I did well, and I made it through that, and I lived a great life. I got married, 2 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Up until the age of 39, now, here I am going for a mammogram, and I had my oldest son with me at the time. I just basically sat him down, said, all right, I'll be right back. This is going to be quick, not realizing that it wasn't quick. When the radiologist, and ladies, you can attest to this, when the radiologist comes back in the room and she's got this look on her face, and you're like, uh-oh. So that said, I was basically told that, listen, we found something on your mammogram. We're not sure what it is, but because it's you, we need to get this taken out. So I agreed to do this. Let's get this done. So I go in, we do the scoop, come back out, I'm waiting to hear, and I get the call. That says, hey, listen, we got your results back. What do they see? They see a calcification. That's what they saw. I said, this is great, I can move on. They said, hold on a second. What we see next to it, 1 millimeter cells. I said, how is this possible? How is this possible? I had ultrasound, mammogram, MRI. You didn't see any of this. The only time they saw it was under the microscope. So think about this. If that calcification was not there, they would never have looked at it under a microscope. They would have sent me on my way for a whole nother year. And I probably wouldn't be standing here today. After my 39th birthday, I decided that's it. We're going to have the surgery. I knew at this point, I had no choice. I had already been radiated. I already went through chemotherapy. I knew, now I have 2 kids. I said, I have to make this work. I can basically tell you that part of the journey was actually the best part of the journey. Because when I was told it was contained, although every quadrant was filled with 1 millimeter cells, I can tell you at that point I was so thrilled because I did not have to go through treatment again. Now, again, it was a journey, and now fast forward. My health wasn't great because I thought I actually was burning out as a full-time mom. And my oncologist at the time said, we have to do something because it wasn't like nutrition, vitamins. I was doing my best. I was trying so hard to get my health back. But what I wasn't told back in the day was that nutrition, gut health, really means a lot. And that's really why I wanted to come and talk to you today, because what we know now today compared to what we knew now then, I didn't change much between cancer number 1 and cancer number 2, right? We also didn't do genetic testing back then. Up until recently, I'm BRCA negative. My mom is also a 2-time cancer survivor. She had cancer in between my cancers. We are BRCA negative. So where does that leave you? Environmental toxins? I don't know. I do know I do have another gene that popped up a couple years ago, because today, ladies, even if you did a genetic testing years ago, they have more genes now that they can detect that are popping up. This is what is so important to know. And now, well, I heard that I had the CHEK2 gene, which basically means there's a chance that you can have a very strong breast cancer twice. Well, guess what? So that's exactly what had happened. Here I am today. I am probably in the best shape of my life. I actually own an IV vitamin therapy company called the Drip Bar in Rye, New York. I opened up about 4 months ago. But how I got there was because my oncologist back in the day saw that my numbers on my blood work wasn't looking good, couldn't figure it out. Again, let's go back to gut health, right? I could not absorb nutrients, minerals. I had leaky gut. And so this was not helping my health at all. And so he sent me to an infusion center, which honestly, I absolutely hated it. This was not what I wanted to do. But I stuck it out. Because I've been with my oncologist now for 31 years. I stuck it out for 3 months. When I redid my blood work, I can tell you, I giggled because it was like, I was like a whole nother person. So now I knew that this was something that I wanted to do for my life. This is something I wanted to be able to give myself, the nutrients, the nutrition that way. Simple vitamins. So I'm gonna fast forward. Again, I'm 55 years old. I bought myself a franchise, and we are serving our community every single day. I have so many different clients. 90% of the clients that walk in, I can tell you right now, they have high inflammation. Some clients will come in and say, this is my blood work. Could you please look at my blood work? They look normal. My doctors say, I'm fine. I'm not fine. I don't feel well. That's a problem. And I tell everybody today, our doctors are working so hard. Sometimes they're limited by the testing that they can do for us. And for me, I always say, if something's not working, you have to try something else. We go around one time. I'm gonna use the rest of my time to be able to serve my community the best that I can. And so therefore, I opened this company, and I would love for all of you to come and just check it out. But just know that my journey is probably very similar to a lot of your journeys. And just keep going. And if something doesn't feel right, make a change. Make a change. Do it for yourself, your family. Thank you so much for having me.